What up? What up? What? Let's get this all down. 44 people watching. Let's take advantage of this corona going on. Shout out to the CIA, one to the FBI. You see the title. You got 4 people disliking already. That means there's 4 people who have been blocked and cannot speak ever again. You were blocked because you ain't had nothing to say. What's going on? Damn, close at 10 p.m. Hey man, you better get ready for this. Let's get it. Let's get it. This is going to hurt a lot of men's feelings today if you fall into this category. If you don't fall into this category, sit back, relax, enjoy. Because you're going to know the truth of this. What's going on? The title of the stream is Your Problems Aren't Big Enough. Last night I did a stream talking about how fortune favors old, and we had a bunch of different guys getting on the panel, and I think we kind of scratched the surface of the fact that many guys are just really holding themselves back. You know, go listen to the show when we had 3 guys get on. One guy trying to get us loan, had no business plan, no marketing strategy. He's basically trying to make money, people's money. That's easy. I mean, that's the low. And then I mean, you don't get much more um, low risk than that. Then another guy trying to find himself, typical. Then another guy who's already in the business and didn't have no one challenging to step out and do it. But here's the thing: you know what all 3 of those guys have in common? All 3 of those guys have an abundance problem. They got too much food, too much water, too much safety, too much comfort. They got no real problems. Matter of fact, life is so good, they don't even have to go out and buy an expensive computer and hundreds of thousands of dollars on access. You can go to AT&T from a phone, and for what I used to pay $200 a month for access for this, they'll give it to you. Just got a AT&T unlimited talk, text, and 8 gigabits of data for $25 a month. You can have prepaid. Why would you go with contract? You can go unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for $60 a month. See, I used to sell internet access back in the day. And I would tell you, the internet speed that comes down to these phones, the actual fiber optic line to connect business would have cost you $50,000 a month. My video, no, I didn't do this on purpose. I want to make sure is the audio messing up? Hold on. What's on here? Huh. Does it sound like I'm slow? Oh no, that's not on purpose. Let me see what's going on here. All right. All right. Testing. 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 Make sure I don't get any background. I don't want to get any reverb. So you sound screwed. Don't want to sound chopped and screwed. What the? Say video. All right. Testing, testing. Yeah, unplug the mic and plug it back up. What the fuck? Chopped and screwed. Sipping on that scissor, sipping on that scissor. So the problem is, man, I was saying that last night, man, to none of those guys' problems, none of these guys thought they were doing anything. They just didn't have big enough problems. See, human nature, people work on incentives. Incentives drive human behavior. But what this pandemic is showing people is how comfortable they've gotten. The mall shut down today. Restaurants are closing. There are people I know who do not know how to cook. And there are people I know in New York City who've never used the oven, used the stove or anything in their apartment. Well, now what are you going to do? Now you got problems. See, and the thing is, necessity is the mother of invention. Well, and the problem is with so many of you guys today is your problems aren't big enough. You know why? Let's just go ahead and get right down to it. Because a better man than you went out and made the company you work for. He went out and risked, he put his balls on the line. He went out and got the equipment and the credit and all that other kind of stuff. He went out and got the building, the location. He went out and got the customers, the contracts, and all that stuff. And he made a place. And the last thing he did was want to hire you. So I said, your problems aren't big enough as an employee. Neither were mine. This is why guys have so much time today to dick around and talk about nothing. I'm not going to lie. I've heard more meaningless conversations in the last 2 weeks. And I'm sitting back, I'm like, you guys got too much time on your hands. You're working 40 hours a week and you're able to put a roof over your head, plenty of food in your belly, clothes on your back. Your needs are met. But here's the problem. That's all that will happen. Your needs will only be met until you challenge yourself, until you get out of your comfort zone, until you put yourself out on an island, until you put yourself out on a boat on the ocean, until you get up out of that fucking city you're living in and move somewhere to where you have no safety net, none of that shit, until you actually get out there and get in the world and start competing, you won't start finding out who you are. Your problems won't be big enough because here's the thing. When the only thing you have in your tool belt is the screwdriver, everything you're going to look to fix is a flathead screw. Can you use this screwdriver for a Phillips head screw? I mean, you can try to make it work. You can stab with it. You can do some screw stuff. You can pry with it.
Can you cut anything with this? I mean, you can dig with it, but you can't do much with this tool. So you're limited. You can only solve this many, only can solve a certain amount of problems with this. You can solve more problems with this. Different problems, but more problems. It's just longer, it's bigger. But what happened if you have something like this? These are Allen wrenches. Solves a variety of different size problems. The fundamental problem solver for mankind has always been a knife. If you don't carry a knife on you, you're not a man, in my opinion. You got a blade, you got a serrated blade. You have this is your survival kit. You could do far more with this than you can do with any of the stuff that I just showed you. All those things those other things were invented by matches. Do you have matches? You can solve some problems with matches, but guess what? Matches run out. You can have a lighter. Lighters run out. Can you build a fire? Guys, what am I basically challenging you guys to do? Start to realize that your problems aren't big enough. Let's get into it. See, a lot of guys want to find themselves. They want to be happy. They want all this shit out of the world. You want all this grandiose stuff, but you got teeny tiny little problems because you got a teeny tiny little life. So when I talk about image, when I say every man needs a life that's broad enough to where he needs to wear a suit at least once a month, I'm expecting that I'm talking to men out here who are going to slay the dragon. But instead, I'm talking to a lot of guys who the last thing they want to do is have to put a suit on. There's a fundamental disconnect here. How do you expect to go out here and become a six-figure earning man, Blake Henry, but you don't want to ever have to get out of your comfort zone? You want to work 40 hours a week and make $500,000 a year and have dime pieces on deck. Eat good, drink good, drive good, live good. Sorry, don't work that way. Does not work that way. In this time of crisis, I suggest you better do one thing real quick. You need to get very real about who's in the mirror. And you need to start challenging yourself and ask, what's the biggest problem you've had in your life right now? I mean, let's be real. You don't have to worry about your human needs. You don't have to worry about food, water, shelter. Dominique Griffin says, I love wearing suits. Good, Dominique. Well, where do you wear them to? How many people want to actually learn? I've already put my feelers out to people. I'm going to start doing more business shows like the one we did last night, because it's time to start getting men to start putting more challenges on their plate. 8 out of 10 of you guys are comfortable as fuck. You're too comfortable. Why do I know you're comfortable? Because you're working 40 hours a week. You're overweight. You're lazy. You got time to sit around bitching about women that you got time to sit around complaining about women that you don't have access to. You got time to sit around and complain about a court system and a divorce court and a family court and all this other stuff. And you are nowhere close to being in any of those situations. You can't even get a date with a quality woman. So worrying about family court and divorce court and getting run through the ringer when you make $40,000 a year is laughable. But I hear guys sit around talk about this day in and day out. All this, well, I'm not going to get the courts are in the women's favor. Yeah, they are. But if you're not making any money, what difference does it really make? See, And the point I'm pushing is not it's to jolt you into reality. Who told you that you get to quit? Who told you that you're doing enough? Oh, because your rent is paid, your mortgage is paid, because your bills are caught up. But is your goal that low? I just need to survive. This is why you have a job and your boss is getting rich off of you. Because you are trained to not take risks. You are trained to play it safe. You are trained to minimize, be cautious, be skeptical, and let other men take the risks in the world and get the reward. Let's talk about it. Shit, if you have money, the woman has something to lose, right? Yeah, man. Thank you. See, here's the thing. Dude said he signed a $7 million deal, bro. And the thing is, go watch the movie Wall Street. The Michael Douglas character says, I bought that. He said, I bought that building when I was 25, whatever. Made $700,000 on a deal. He's like, back then I thought there was all the money in the world. He said, now that's just a weekend in Vegas. Real talk, guys. How much did you ever, when you come from a single parent house, single mother household, and you had to scrape and get by, and you're just lower middle class or middle class at best? Some of you went to college, some of you didn't go to college. Really, you thought if you could make $25 an hour, you'd be good for the rest of your life. If you could make $50,000 a year, that would survive, that would do you for your lifetime, because that's where most people, the average Black man in this country makes 40 grand. The average white man makes 50. So if you could make 50, but what is that? What is that going to buy you? Right now, you're about to see what it gets you, because you're going to see the people with money, with resources, with options. They're not having to be reactive in the situation. They're proactive. Let's talk. Your problems aren't big enough. If your problems aren't big enough, what are you waiting on? Why are you working? Why are you working for somebody instead of working for yourself? Let's ask that question. James says he needs bigger problems. Well, join the link, man. Let's talk about it. You need bigger problems. Then what's stopping you? You know what make your problems bigger, James? Move. Pack your shit up and move from wherever you are to an NFL city, an international city. I'm trying to find a stock to buy. That's not a big enough problem. You're trying to buy a stock to buy. That's not a big enough problem. Honestly, that's a very low level problem. Because if you really had big problems, you would already have people who know the markets well enough, and they'd be giving you advice on what you should be buying right now. The biggest problem most men have is you're completely alone in this world. If I took your job away from you, and if I ask you, what does your life look like? If I take your job away, that's your social life. And if I ask you, who are the people you interact with on a daily basis? If I took your job away, if I just took your job away and I said, who are the people you interact with on a daily basis who are not your family members? Most guys have no lives. Engineering Cannabis, what's going on?
Hey, what's
Trying to be
happening?
a great father. Hold on. You said I'm trying to be a great father and make an additional 40K by next year. How are you doing that, Marcus? Please join the program, my friend. Make an additional 40K. Let's talk about it. What's going on, man? What you got for me?
So I have a dilemma. I'm in the process of trying to basically either looking to starting a tech startup or a consulting firm. Now, the dilemma is I really don't know where to whether to focus on the tech startup or the consulting firm itself.
What do you do right now?
I'm a senior data scientist.
You do what?
I'm a senior data scientist.
Okay, talk to me like I'm 4 years old. What does that mean?
Basically, I deal with AI. I automate systems, automate processes, machine learning, deep learning. Basically, anything dealing with automation, I deal with.
Okay. And who do you work for? Don't get the name of the company. Is it a large company? Is it a small company? Fortune 500? Go ahead.
You require a security clearance.
Okay. So you're in tech.
Yes.
And how long have you been doing it?
15 years.
15 years. Why haven't you started your own security? Why haven't you started your own consulting firm if you got 15 years experience?
Basically, I've been dabbling. The goal is just to learn more. And each time I basically.
Let me stop you right there. I don't give a shit about how much more you learn if you don't make any money off of it.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because it's the default position of so many guys to thinking that, okay, let me ask you, how much more do you need to learn before you can start your own business?
No, I don't need to learn anything. I've learned enough.
There you go. So the question is, you got 15 years experience. Are you working for a publicly held company or a privately held company?
Privately.
Privately. So it's owned by individuals.
Yeah.
Okay. And how old are the partners?
Probably in their 50s, 60s.
And how old are you?
I'm 35.
How old is the company?
Company's been there since the inception of the nuclear bomb.
So it's been around for 50 plus
Decades.
years? Huh?
Yeah, decades.
Right. And the principals and the CEO and the ivory tower people, they're only but 20 years older than you. But how did they get there?
They made a decision.
There you go. See, you playing it safe. You got 15 years in the business. The first thing I ask you is, why haven't you started? And you told me I need to know more.
Don't get me wrong. I've learned a lot. I've learned how the process works. I learned everything.
Okay, then why aren't you doing it for yourself?
I'm in the process of starting. I'm in the process of starting.
Okay, and what kind of clock have you put on it?
Basically, I've put a time of at least 2 to 3. No, let me give me 5 years.
5 years before you start your own business?
No, 5 years. No, I'm starting. I've already started. I've already basically started. So I'm giving a duration of 5 years to basically continue doing it while I work at the same time.
So let me get this straight. You've given yourself 5 years to have it up and running to where you walk away from your existing job?
Yes, because I'm going to be doing it simultaneously.
Hold on. How long have you been doing the business?
Currently just a year right now.
Okay, so you've been doing it for a year.
Yep.
And you gave yourself 5 years.
Let's say 5 to 10 years.
No, you just said 5. Now you put it 10.
Okay, 5 years.
No. See, that's why when I asked you for a clock, I meant the real clock. Now you're making up stuff. Do you really have
hold on? Duration of 5 to 10 years.
No, brother. 5 to 10 years are two very different things.
Okay.
Because the questions are only going to get harder.
Okay.
So what I'm really asking is, are you really seriously in business? Because if you said, I gave myself 5 years to go away from my job to do it full time, and you've been doing it 1 year.
Yes.
How many clients have you acquired this year?
3.
3. How many clients do you need to have to be able to have this business have your walkaway money?
To be honest with you, I just need 5 clients.
You need 5 clients.
Yeah.
To have, and you've got 3.
Yeah.
These numbers don't add up. If you've got 3 clients in 1 year, why do you need 5 years?
Let's
start over. Do you have a
Okay.
business plan?
Yes.
Do you have a
I have a
written
market-
business? No, do you have a written business plan?
Yes.
Who wrote it?
I basically hired a consultant, and we sat down and wrote the whole business plan.
How much did he charge you to write the business plan?
$2,000, basically.
Okay. And do you have a marketing plan?
Yes.
Do you have funding lined up for the business? Are you self-funding?
I'm self-funding.
All right. So what you're telling me is you're working for somebody else. You have a business plan and a marketing strategy.
Yes.
And in 1 year, you've got 3 clients. Are these 3 clients under contract?
Yes.
Okay. So, and you say all you need is 5 clients. So that's 2 more clients. So that means you should be able to walk away inside of 6 months, not 5 years.
That's true. Yes. But remember, I'm still working with those 3 clients, providing services.
I don't care.
So-
Hold on, brother. I'm just using your numbers. You said
Okay.
5 clients.
Yep.
If you've got 3 in a year, that means you could have 2 in 6 months.
Yeah.
Then you'd be at 5.
Yeah.
Then you're walking away. Miss sleep.
True.
What are you talking about? You got to provide services. You have to do a whole hell of a lot more shit when you own your own business. See, that's why I said what I said initially. Better men or greater men than you took all the risk and made it real comfortable for you to think this slow. I'm pushing you into a position where you cannot move this slow. You have been doing this for 15 years. It does not require 15 years to go into consulting. It doesn't require 5 more years. I just proved with your own numbers. It only really takes you back. What's going on? I'm getting background noise or something.
Oh, I'm sorry. You good?
Yeah, I've already proved it with your own numbers. It should only take you 1.5 years to get 5 clients. If you have a $2,000 a business plan and a marketing plan, and you got clients under contract, what you don't have is the confidence to really walk away.
True. Yes.
Then what's it going to take for you to get the confidence to believe to walk away?
Basically, the goal is again to make 10 times more than what I make in my current.
I don't care about 10 times more. You don't get to make 10 times more just starting out. You got to go struggle, eat Spam, rice, ramen noodles, saltine crackers, sardines, Vienna sausages. What the fuck are you talking about? You expect to go from a cushy job to a 10 times increase? Where'd I do that at? Where does that happen? How many people walk away from a corporate job and walk into 10x?
That's what I'm saying. It takes time. That's
No,
what
it
I'm
doesn't.
working-
It does not take time. That does not happen. See, you're in another man's job. They have the power of life and death. Hire you or fire you. The house is burning. You're only getting older. You're only costing more money. If you already have a business plan, a marketing plan, and 3 clients, you need to be really focusing on getting those other 5 and getting the fuck away from there and then doing what you got to do to turn that 5 into 20. What you're trying to do is you're trying to do it the slow, safe way, using their job to fund your growth. But aren't you a competitor to theirs?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, you right up on the microphone. Are you? Yeah, you.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yes, I am.
Yeah, you're a competitor to theirs. So do you think they're going to allow you to really grow that much? Do they know you're working clients on the side?
No.
So you think you can actually wait? You want to grow at 10x, then walk away? That ain't gonna happen. This doesn't. You see how I'm asking these simple, basic questions, and it doesn't even make sense to you?
No, it does.
So you're going to. So what's going to have to? So either you're going to be in business for yourself, or you're not. Either you're going to have to decide that I'm going to have to take a risk and walk away, or I'm going to just do dibble and dabble on the side, because you're working in the same industry. That's a conflict of interest, right?
Yeah.
If they found out you were doing consulting on the side, what would they say?
Basically, you can't do that, and it's time to go.
So again, you don't have 5 years to slow roll this.
True.
Okay, so how is me as an outsider can tell you this about your own situation, and you don't have that sense of urgency yourself?
I do. Right now, I don't have that sense of urgency, but right now, thinking through it, I do need that sense of urgency.
Well, no, it's honestly, it's because you're not serious about it. Your problems aren't big enough. Because honestly, let's be real. If you lost these 3 clients, it wouldn't make that much. You'd still be doing just fine with their job. Right?
Yeah.
Right. But if they fired you, could you survive on these 3 clients?
No.
So your problems aren't big enough. And while you're working for them, due respect, your problems will never be big enough. This is why guys like you need coaches. This is what I do as a coach, to help you focus on what's going on right now and put a foot square up your ass to make you look for your own situation and look at just the reality. Because honestly, no offense, but our best thinking gets us exactly where we are. You've got 3 clients in the business plan. You've already got the investments in it. You got to either decide you're going to go all in and do this, or just move it to the side and go to work for somebody. But you cannot live this halfway world.
Okay.
Because you also said something earlier. You're talking about a consulting firm or something else. What was the other one?
Tech startup, but basically I have a couple of startup ideas and I've already started writing it down.
Okay, so
and talking to people about it.
So let me tell you, the problem with that is the way I see it. How many different masters do you think you can serve? You got one full-time job, a part-time job in an industry you're already working in, that you have a business plan, a marketing strategy, 3 clients under contract, you need 5 to walk away, blah, blah. And then you're going to start spinning another plate in a different direction. And you don't have this one already going. How are you going to do all that?
That's a question I need to basically sit down and basically traverse, but yes.
Okay, so if it weren't you, if somebody came along and asked, does this person sound like they're serious?
The seriousness part is I am serious about it.
No. I said if it weren't you and someone came and sat down and asked, is a person who's moving like this, are they serious? What would you say?
I'll contemplate, yes.
You think a person with a job over here, a fledgling business over here, and then wanting to go in another direction when this one isn't even started. You haven't completed anything.
Okay, it's more of a dabble. I'll say they're more dabbling into it rather than being serious.
That's what I'm trying to get you to see. And what I need you to understand is, in your situation, you have a direct conflict of interest with your current employer. You're starting a rival industry under their nose. You gotta either decide you're going to do this and get the fuck out of their company, or pack it in. Because if they find out about this, you've already said you cannot survive on what you're making with these 3 people. Right?
Yeah.
So that seems pretty clear to me. Pretty clear to me that you're going to have to make a decision and just go with it. And the decision can't be go start something else. Focus. Are you in a house or an apartment or something? Because you got a lot of
I'm in a house. Basically, it's quite.
Okay.
It's echoey. It has an echo in it. Yes.
Okay. So, are you working with a coach right now?
Yes, I'm working with a consultant on the business. Yes.
The person who wrote your business plan?
No, this is another person who's been doing consulting in the similar industry.
Okay, and he's your coach?
Mentor and coach, yes.
No. Mentor means an informal relationship. A coach means somebody that you have a structure with.
Okay, I have a structure with.
Are you paying him?
Yes.
How long have you been with your coach?
3 years.
Okay, I got to ask the questions.
Sure.
Has your coach ever? You've been with a coach for 2 or 3 years?
3 years, yes.
And you pay him monthly?
No, I pay him basically quarterly.
You pay him quarterly. And
Yeah.
your coach hasn't asked you any of these questions?
He's asked me. He's basically told me that I need to basically pick one. I'm basically spreading my cards out too vaguely. I'm just
So why? So I got to ask you. You're paying a coach. He's giving you similar advice that I've given you.
like I just wanted more consideration, more thoughts into it, not just more one.
Let's back up. You have a coach, somebody that you've been working with for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And he's told you what you needed to do. And it's in line with what somebody who does not know you, who's a coach, told you as well.
Yeah.
And my question is, why do you have a coach if you're not going to follow and do what he says?
I am in the process of following and doing what he says.
No, sir, you can't be, because if he told you that you need to stop spending all these, see, what I'm getting is you want to be in charge.
Yep.
But you're not good enough to be in charge of all of this. No one is. You got people, you got a business plan and a marketing plan. Are you on task with the business plan and marketing plan as it's written?
Yes. In the process of marketing, he basically.
Are you on task? Have you met the
Yes.
metrics?
Yes.
Are you on task with your coach? Your coach has given you metrics, things to do.
Yes.
Okay, then if I ask your coach right now, why is he still working with you if he's giving you, how long ago did he tell you need to focus and pick one and move in a direction?
A year ago.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'd have fired you as a client. He's taking your money and you're still doing what the fuck you want to do. To the point where you call into somebody who you ain't paying. And I'm telling you the same thing. The problem is you. It's not a matter of more information. There's a disconnect with you in not taking and acting on sound counsel. You're paying for this information and you still aren't acting on it, but you're not getting outcomes that show that you should be doing something, that you're not producing an outcome that says you should be in charge. This is why most small businesses fail, because the business IQ of the owner. And you're ahead of the game. Oh, bro, you got a lot of noise. Let me mute you.
Oh, hold on.
This is why a lot of small businesses fail, guys. We got a guy who has been in the industry 15 years, so he knows what he's doing. He sees other people. He's seen a business that's been along. I mean, all the markers are there, but it's an ability to make a decision, be structured, consistent, and disciplined, and chart a course and follow it. And not decide to, well, I want to chase this rabbit. I want to chase this rabbit. Someone says that you're paying, says this is what you need to do. You need to shoot your free throws this way. Or you need to throw your football this way. And you still trying to sidearm it. Your way doesn't work. Okay, I gotta keep you on mute because you got too much noise going on, and you kind of heavy breathing on the microphone, sound like Darth Vader. Yeah, you need to back up off the mic, man.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have a cold. So
okay, no problem.
I just have a cold.
But I mean, what I would tell you, man, honestly, is you're ahead of the game in some ways. You have a business plan and marketing strategy, but you don't have the confidence in yourself.
That's the problem.
Well, then, are you dealing with a psychiatrist?
No, I'm not dealing with the psychiatrist.
Because a coach is not supposed to give you confidence.
That's the problem. It's
Okay.
basically trying to see if I'm just basically scared of basically saying if I'm good enough to basically go
Well,
into.
how old are you?
I'm 35.
Okay, I gotta ask you a real hardcore question.
Yeah.
If you have this low level of confidence, why should you be in? Do you want to have employees and lead other
Yeah.
people?
Well, yeah.
Brother,
When I'm
hold
saying,
on. Listen what I'm about to say.
okay,
People don't follow timid men.
it's not the timidity I'm talking about.
Timidity, okay, pick the word that's you're not confident in yourself to go ahead
It's
and
not. It's
okay, I
basically
need you to listen.
okay.
This is
Go
not an
ahead.
insult. This is not an insult. You have had good counsel. The path has been charted with as much certainty as possible. It's up to you to either go or no go, and you're not going. And there is a lack of confidence here. And it's not in the information, it's in you. And people don't follow men who are not confident. I'm gonna just tell you, everybody's not supposed to be in business for themselves. Only 20% of men really should be in business for themselves. The other 80% should be workers or number twos, number threes, number fives. I'm not hearing any levels of assertiveness. That means you should be owning anything. You sound like you would be better as a high functioning, high level employee or a manager or somebody that's over a division, but the head guy, no. That's just an honest assessment from everything you laid out here. And there is no amount of business plans or coaching or anything else that's going to give you the intestinal fortitude to be that dude. You either decide to be that or not. Anything else before we get up out of here?
No, I just have some stuff to think about in terms of risks and just see where to go from there.
Okay, brother. Well, hope you found this insightful.
Yeah, it was quite insightful.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Let me go ahead and say this too, guys. You know, I need everybody, guys, to understand something. Everybody's not meant to be a business owner. Businesses fail every day. Good people fail in business all the time. One of my closest friends, he was really good at his skill, but he wasn't really adept at running the business of it. At the end of the day, if you talk about running a business, you're talking about leading. You got to go out and get clients, and people got to believe that you can do the job. Then people are going to work for you. They got to believe that you're going to be able to lead this thing. And sometimes it's better to be the CIO, not the CEO. Every guy wants to be an alpha, a leader today. And I'm sorry, 5% of the male population are alpha men, pure alphas. Now, when you start talking about in the business world, that arranges itself in different ways. But there is no magic. I'll go learn something, and if I just read the right book, or I get the right plan, or I get the right video, then all of a sudden all the pieces will fall in place, and I'll be that. It doesn't work that way. So, yeah. See, all right, guys, we got 290 people watching. We only got 122 likes, man. We need to get the likes up. See, I do shows like this, and they're next to no likes and no donations and no support. If you want to support this if you want to get you guys in the comment section. I love this kind of content. Really, $5. All right. $300 folks. $5. How many guys out there, how many men out there honestly want to own their own business? You want to own your own business and you want to be successful at it. How many people want to own their own business and how many men want to own their own business and be successful at it? Shout out Everyday Valet. How many people want to own their own business and be successful at it? Because today, in the next 36 to 60 months is prime time. After 60 months, the opportunity for creating business online is going to not be anywhere like it is today. What's going on, Naima? Damon, what's going on? Okay, the guys who say me, I just started one. I need you guys to get on the line because I got questions to ask you guys. I just started my own C Corp. Okay, understand something. Being in business, having a legal business is one thing, but actually running a business is something else. Cash flow is business. No clients, no customers, no business. No customers, no clients, no business. If you cannot sell it, you're going to have somebody who can sell it and close it, or else you won't have a business. But all the guys who say, I do, me, get on the stream. Let's talk about it because there are real questions that have to be asked. Last night, one thing that you heard, most men do not pay for knowledge. Most men do not, we will not pay for knowledge. And if you're not going to actually pay for plans, knowledge, learning curves, then you must plan on wasting a lot of money. Why will internet business opportunities decrease? Well, simple. YouTube, Instagram are going to start because Hollywood's moving online, and they're going to have to compete with people with real pocketbooks and real marketing budgets, and the cost is going to start going up. In the next 5 years, YouTube is going to start charging you to upload a video, and just like Instagram, organic reach has been slowed. You can post on your page, but 5 years ago, getting 5 years ago, or just like Facebook slowed down organic reach too. Now they want you to pay the market. See, if you're not willing to pay for consultants and marketing, you might as well stay working for somebody else right now. What's going on?
What's up? How are you?
What's your first name?
My name's Chima. Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I just
hold on, brother. Jay said, do books count? Nope. Books are cheap. Books are cheap and plentiful. Nope. You're going to spend thousands of dollars on getting in front of somebody who's qualified to teach you individually. Nope. Books don't count. Because if it was simple as books, then we should have entrepreneurs and successful businesses left and right. Go ahead, bro.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, I've been watching your channel for a while. I just have a couple questions. I just started my own business. Just finished college about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing relatively well. I am pretty young. I'm about to be 24. Do you have any advice for someone like
what's your business in?
My business is personal training.
Personal training. Okay. Yes, and what's your degree in?
I have a degree in psychology. I used to do sales just like you.
Oh, okay. So you went to school for psychology?
Yes, sir.
But you're a personal trainer?
Correct.
Okay. Are you working at a gym?
Yes, I'm working at a gym. I'm a master trainer at my gym. So I'm like,
what is it, like an LA Fitness Goals 24 hours, something like that?
LA Fitness.
All right. So basically you're in there just like every other grunt trying to get people to buy LA Fitness packages.
Yeah, but I'm maxed out. So what happened is I'm like the highest tier.
All right. So what's the next step?
Well, I already started my own company. I have a website that I'm about 65% done with. And
So the next step
for
is
this,
what? Not a
I
website.
am
The next step
getting
is what?
my clients. The problem is this coronavirus thing
Uh-uh.
caused me from
No,
getting
no,
my clients.
no, no. Let's stop right there.
Got
The
you?
next step is you're going to leave LA Fitness and start doing personal training on your own.
Yes, I've been leaving slowly.
Does LA Fitness know this?
When they know I'm
All right,
okay with
all right,
leaving.
all right, all right. So how do you plan on getting new clients after you've taken every client you can take from LA Fitness?
I already have a marketing plan set already.
Okay.
It's about a 3-year marketing plan.
All right. Okay.
Mhm.
Give me the 4-year-old version. How do you plan on getting new clients while you've taken every client with you? No coronavirus. You got the clients you've taken from LA Fitness. Go.
Mhm.
You got to get new clients. Where are you going to be teaching these people at first off? At LA
I
Fitness?
already have my own location.
All right.
which
So
I'm
where are you going to be?
myself.
How are you going to get people to come get? That's the
Yeah.
part. How are you going to get the people?
Yeah. So what I have right now is basically I'm going a lot off word of mouth, along with yard signs, along with postcards, and along with leads.
Leads from where?
I'm getting a lot of leads from people and leads from in the internet.
Okay. So word of mouth.
Yes, sir.
Due respect, that's the worst way to get business today. I mean, it's the surest way to get clients, it's the slowest way. So you're telling me that your marketing strategy is word of mouth, yard signs, and what you can get off the internet. How much are you paying for internet marketing?
Internet marketing, I just started about
How much are
200
you?
so far.
200
So far. Yeah, I'm gonna add
over
more
what time frame?
over 3 weeks. I just started last month.
And you're and that 200 is being spent where?
Marketing.
And what platform?
Instagram, Facebook, Yelp, and my Google
right.
business is loading.
Okay. $200 over 4 platforms is nothing. You have no marketing plan. Okay. You're just doing shit. Let's just get right down to it. You're just doing shit. Trying to see what works. And this is the problem.
Mhm.
Your clients that you take over from LA Fitness are going to churn. They're not going to stay steady. You're going to lose 20% every year. What is your plan to be putting in 40 to 50% new leads, new business?
Mhm.
And you don't have a plan. It's word of
YouTube.
mouth and yard signs. Yard signs don't do anything. You
Mhm.
have to be getting in front of people and selling them or making conversations or touches with people. This is
Right.
why you need a plan. Okay, second question. Have you talked to any successful trainers in your area and asked them what they did to grow their business and make it successful?
I have a mentor that I
That's
speak
a
to.
yes or no.
No, because technically I'm the most successful trainer I know.
So you're the most successful trainer you know, but that's in LA Fitness land.
Correct.
Okay. So you haven't talked to anybody that's done it outside of this. So right now I've just showed you, you're just kind of making shit up.
Right. I have about one person, except I don't really trust him.
I'm just showing, okay, bro.
Mhm.
You're just out of college. You got no experience in the work world except for the little bit of time you got here. That's not how the world works. You have a serious knowledge deficit. You may be a kick-ass trainer, but you're a shit businessman and a shit salesman at this point. And you can sell at LA Fitness, but you got to translate that to your world. So either you go find somebody who stepped outside of LA Fitness or outside of the gyms and made successful businesses on their own, and you pay them for their information, get them to mentor you, Don't just go ask them, go offer to pay them, or go to your local small, whatever city you in. There are plenty of advertising agencies, boutique advertising agencies. Go pay someone to sit down with you to write a business plan and a marketing plan and a marketing strategy. But see, that's going to cost you, that's going to require you to invest some money, thousands of dollars. And then it's going to require you to work that while you're doing your training business. But that's how business works. What you're talking about is a crapshoot in a highly competitive industry. Personal trainers, no disrespect, but are a dime a dozen. I taught spin class for 6 years.
Mhm.
Personal trainers come and go, come and go, come and go. Alpha Male Strategies, you familiar with him?
Very familiar, yeah.
All right. Have you even reached out to him and asked him, what's the feasibility of doing this? I mean, he talks often about how he hated personal training. Hey, Steph is cold. Have you reached out to him?
No, sir.
SPK Fitness, have you reached out to him?
Well, I work a lot, so I don't get the chance to go on YouTube.
I don't give a shit about you working online. Don't give me these
Yeah.
bullshit excuses. Just tell me, no, I haven't.
I never spoke to them, no.
Okay, well then what the fuck? You got 3 people that I know of and I'm not even in the industry.
Right.
And you're going to tell me, well, I work a lot. So fucking what? This is business, bro. This is real world. I don't care how much you work. You chose to do this. Grab your balls, be a man, and do the fucking work.
I will.
No, I don't think you understand. The work is you have to go get this knowledge and you're going to have to pay for it. Alpha Male Strategy, Steph Co, SPK Fitness did not just build businesses to tell you this shit for free.
Right.
The people who are going to write the business plans or the marketing plans don't owe you a damn thing. The question is this what you really, really want to do with your life?
Yes, that's one of the things.
What's the other thing?
After this, I would like to go into real estate and build something for my family.
Okay, your generation has all these things. I want to be a fireman, and I want to be a doctor, and I want to be an astronaut. You don't get to pick 50 different careers. What do you want to do?
This is my main one. This is my main one, training.
Well, then focus on what the fuck you want to do. Don't tell me what you want to do later because you ain't good at this yet.
I got what you're saying.
But let me back up. Why'd you go to college to get a degree in psychology if you want to be a personal trainer?
Well, things change. I was going to actually go the route of being a psychologist, except as time progressed, I noticed that either I was going to go to med school, which is something I wouldn't be able to afford.
How much debt are you in?
I'm in I have no college debt. I paid for it out of pocket with the help of parents, and I worked for the government as a tutor for about 4 years.
Okay, so you have no college, you have no student loan debt.
No student loan debt, no, sir.
All right. So basically, it didn't set you back.
Not terribly.
Okay. So that was, in my opinion, a waste. But you couldn't know, okay? But you're gonna have to pick, man. Let me tell you something. You're gonna have to pick, and you have to put your head down for the next 10 years and eat shit. You're gonna be putting in 80-hour weeks. 80 hours if you want to be a business owner. Or this is what you're going to do. You're going to be putting in 80-hour weeks. The training of the clients, that's only 5% of what you do. The other 95% is getting them, acquiring them, keeping them, billing. And to be a successful personal trainer, that's more than a notion. You need to go find out what that is. You got a long way to go, and far more people who know more about this than you. There's a lot of knowledge there that needs to be gained.
Right.
Because right now, all your experience has been under the safety of LA Fitness. You don't know what it's like to be out here because you went to work as a trainer at LA Fitness, and they got the big, pretty buildings and plenty of foot traffic. So truthfully, your success has been artificial. It'll be real if you can create success like that on your own. Do you think your current marketing strategy is going to be able to help you make that kind of success as you did at LA Fitness?
Not to that extent, no, not yet.
Then you shouldn't be doing it. And not yet. These things shouldn't be coming up. Where do you live?
My apartment, I just moved from my apartment. So I moved back with my parents because they
Right.
kept raising the rent.
Right.
Yeah. So I had to
Exactly. So again, how much do you pay your parents for rent?
pay around 500, sometimes a little extra.
Okay. And what city are you in?
I'm in Long Island.
All right. So you pay $500 a month for rent.
Mhm.
But in Long Island, how much would you be paying if you lived by where you like in the average? How much would you be paying?
Oh,
I used to live in New York City, by the way.
Mhm.
How much would you be paying if you live? How much was your apartment?
My apartment was around 1,200 on the
So,
low end.
okay. So
Yeah. Yes, sir.
you went from paying $1,200 plus utilities to living home with mommy and daddy. Is it mom and dad or mom?
Both parents.
So you went ahead and lived back.
Mhm.
See, so you don't really have the pressure to perform.
No, I'm performing.
I'm not
slacking.
listen to what I'm saying. No, dude, you don't have the same pressure to perform. See, the pressure to perform, let me give you what that means. If mom and dad didn't exist and you still had to be in that apartment in Long Island and pay that rent, if you didn't pay it, they'd be foreclosing on you, you'd have pressure to perform. You know, if you don't pay mom and dad, they'll let you slide.
Right.
All right, that's not good. Because that makes you in an artificial environment. And you're not, and I've just showed you how you're not even approaching your supposedly want your business in a real aggressive, I got to make this happen way. And it makes sense. You have no college debt. So you don't have the creditors knocking on your door. You're back at home with your parents. And now you're paying $500, maybe more. That's nothing. Not on that side, not in that part of the country. You got it made. But this is not how to, but this is, so you should have plenty of money just in the differential where you saved in rent to actually do this right. Don't blow this opportunity.
Mhm. Thank you.
There you go. Appreciate it. Any other question?
No, I'm just thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Let me know what happens though. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll contact the people you said to. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. I mean, see guys, here's the thing. He's 24. He can't know all the stuff that I know. But the thing is, I said our problems aren't big enough. And necessity is the mother of invention. When you go from a situation where you have to survive to a comfortable situation, it does not tend to bring out the best in men who don't already have a track record of being aggressive and assertive. I talk about this show called The Island, Bear Grylls, where they drop 14 people on an uninhabited island in the Pacific Northwest, and they got to survive for 6 weeks with just their wits, some basic tools, and some resources. You got to actually, when men are overly comfortable, that we regress. So while I think it may be admirable for parents to let you come back, it's often better to stay out and become a man on your own terms, because it fucks with the dude's confidence and his sense of self-esteem and his sense of self when he's living at home. I mean, when you're in there sitting around, You always think of mama gonna come in there. I mean, come on, man. You can't even do what you want to do. You can't walk around. You can't, you know, if you out, man, I say stay out. And if you say you're going and you go back because they're gonna up your rent, get a roommate. Get a male roommate. Do something. Here's the thing, make more money. That's the real thing. They raise your rent, make more money. Pressure to perform. 24 is too grown to be at home. Thank you, Kellen. See, I don't understand what a lot, you're a college, let me just go ahead and say this to you young brothers, you young men, your pride should fuck with you. You should not be back home. At 18 years old, you should go to the military, college, or a job, but all three of those paths should leave out of your parents' home. And you should never go back unless a life-threatening illness or an injury or some cataclysmic world-changing event. Those are the only two ways you should go back home. Some life-altering event, massive. You got deadly ill, cancer, something like I had, your broken ankle, but short term, you should never go back. And if you go back, you should only go back for a short period of time. You should be paying the same amount of rent you'd be paying anywhere else. And you should have an exit plan. But I say don't go back. Hey, Kevin, what are your thoughts on getting a trade? I'm fine with getting a trade. Not everybody needs to be in corporate America. Everybody does not need to be white collar. Here's the thing. What I want every man to do is ultimately keep pushing himself. If you become a plumber or an HVAC technician or electrician or some contractor, cool. Become a master at your level and then start your own firm to where you hire people and you're competing for jobs, where you're not just a contractor on the job. Always trying to move up. You got to continue to put bigger and bigger problems in front of you. I mean, this country used to be great because we built shit. Look at these buildings. I want you guys to honestly ask yourself a question. Could you have cut it back in the time of your grandfather, your great grandfather? Are you made of the stuff that they could call you up and you go fight in World War II? I mean, could you actually get out there and build these highways and these skyscrapers? Could you do the manual labor that built this country? I mean, honestly, gentlemen, a lot we owe. And you owe it to yourself to push yourself to be the best you can be, not to be comfortable. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Let's relate this to women. That's why a lot of women today are more sexually aggressive, more sexually experienced, and more sexually advanced than their male counterparts. Because unfortunately, especially in our community, a lot of women are out there competing for positions. Here in Georgia, how many women are in judgeships? And I mean, you got women out here doing it. You don't get to go find yourself. And what did you hear with every guy? They had 2 or 3 different plans. I want to be this. I want to be that. I mean, no. You don't get to do all. You pick something. You got to pick, and you got to focus and do that shit.
Kevin, why do you think about teachers as a profession in and why?
Curious to know what about my standing in society. Curious to know what my standing is in society. Get on the show, man. Here's what you do. Mako's mind. What do I think about teachers as a profession in New York City? Well, I got a lot of respect for teachers, but honestly, you're gonna be broke.
Curious to know what my standing in society is from your wisdom. I am curious. I am unsure how to do a proper appraisal.
You're gonna be broke. You're gonna be broke. Here's the sad part. We don't pay teachers in this country what they're worth. No one goes to become a teacher to become rich. No and let's be real, no 7, 8, 9, or 10 woman ever said, ooh, you know what I want? I want a teacher. If you're going to become a teacher, you got to be doing it for more than success, for financial success, because you'll never have that. That's a labor of love. And you're basically choosing to live an average life, driving like a Honda Civic, a Toyota Corolla kind of thing, living right above the poverty line, right in the middle class. I mean, kind of paycheck to paycheck. You know, you're not talking about, you know, anything other than just getting by. That's teacher. A teacher with a side hustle? No. Teachers with side hustles? No. Just do the side hustle and make your side hustle a main hustle. See, honestly, I believe teaching, the way this country has prioritized teaching, women should be teaching. Because men don't make enough money as teachers. I didn't set the system up. Now, I'm assuming you're talking about teaching at the grade school or public school level. You didn't say a university professor. Those are different things. School principal might be a better path. I'm sorry, but that's like saying there's one principal to how many teachers. Unrealistic for most people. It's like guys who go into HR. I mean, you're going into a limited career. I didn't know that stuff about teaching. I have to disagree. I know teachers make a six-figure. I don't care, Herbert. You can disagree all you want to. But if you honestly, but what the fact is, you know, teachers making six figures. By show of hands in the chat room, do people think the average teacher in grade school makes six figures? Somebody go tell Herbert what the world is, please. Seems though we got a dude who wants to be right instead of just dealing with the reality. But go ahead. I could be wrong, but chat room, please tell Herbert if he's right. They don't. I'm a history teacher. It's not, they make a living. We don't pay our teachers what they're worth. That's what I said. 32 in Texas. In Oklahoma, it's like 28. If you're making that kind of money, you got to be, teachers are paid according to the cities or the neighborhoods in which they serve, the districts. All right, to the guy who says he wants to know his own, curious to know what my standing is in society. From your wisdom, I'm curious. I'm unsure how to do a proper self-appraisal. Well, here's the thing. You said, somebody said they think teaching applies to both genders. Okay, that was just my opinion. It's not written in stone. But what I'm saying is this. This channel is about men becoming the best version of themselves. And I really believe in that Blake Henry stuff. What woman ever said, what woman who's a 7, 8, 9, or 10 said, ooh, I want a man who's $40,000 and 40 years old? What woman ever said, ooh, I want to marry a hot earth science teacher? Ooh, I want to go work out 4 hours a day, 4 days a week so I can marry a algebra teacher. Don't happen, man. We don't need people trying to teach just for money. Education is too important. That's some of the dumbest shit I ever heard. We do need people trying to teach for money. What are you, a fucking communist? You expect people to be poor righteous teachers and supposed to put our most valuable resource in a bunch of broke people's hands? Fuck out of here. People trying to teach. Call in. Fucking communists. Okay, I need you to mute your channel, Mako. I get tired of people talking about teachers should make money. Hell, they should be paid very well. What's going on? You need Mako?
Yes, Michael, how you doing?
Okay, Mako, what's your question?
So pretty much, I remember one time you had made a video about us men not knowing what our proper appraisals are, and
Okay.
sometimes it's always good to know where you stand and what the harsh truth is, so you can improve on it. So, it's just if one doesn't know how to do a proper appraisal of
Let's
himself.
just start with a couple of things. How old are you?
29,
29. What city do you live in?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Did you go to college?
I went, but I never
Did you graduate
finished.
college?
No.
All right. What do you do for a living?
I'm a data manager, contractor for the Air Force.
All right. How much do you make annually
70 grand.
in Las Vegas?
Yes.
And the cost of Las Vegas, what's the cost of living in Las Vegas?
But that's the thing. It's like I technically don't have any debt because I've been very financially responsible since I was
Cost
young.
of living in Las Vegas. Yeah, you don't have any. So Las Vegas is roughly right around 100% of the national average, 1.3. But the issue of living in Vegas is like you live around a bunch of rich people. That's a destination. It's a very inexpensive city to live in, but you're around a bunch of rich men coming there. 29, 70K, no debt.
Other women that give you signals. That's your standing.
Yeah. So the next question is, what's the hottest woman you've ever had a relationship with? A public relationship where she claimed you as her man. What would you rank her on the scale of 1 to 10?
I say about an 8.
Okay. And how long were you with this woman?
2.5 years.
2.5 women. She's a Las Vegas 8 or
No,
Iowa?
I used to be in the military, so I've lived in England. She was an African woman.
Okay, well, let's readjust that. What's the hottest woman you've ever had here?
In America,
Yeah.
I say about an 8 also.
An 8. And a Las Vegas 8?
No, not Las Vegas 8. You talking when you say here, you say Las Vegas. I say about a 7.
A Las Vegas 7?
Yes.
So she was pretty, or at least cute.
Yes. It was. Yes, she had figure.
And how long were you guys together?
Like 6 months, 7 months.
Did she have any children?
No,
And who broke the relationship off? You or her?
she did.
All right. So you got dropped by a 7.
Yeah.
All right. So what does that tell you?
I don't know.
What do you think?
That's why I asked. That's what I'm asking because I don't know.
Just what does your gut tell you? If you're in Vegas, 29, and you're making 70K, I mean, you're Las Vegas is about the cost of living is Oklahoma City, Dallas, Houston. It's in the area. It's about 103% of the national average. So it's not overly expensive. And a Las Vegas 7, okay. Shouldn't have to be one of the most beautiful women, but she's attractive. She's cute. She's a day walker. You could be seen with her in person anywhere you go.
Yep.
And she claimed you. You were Facebook status. She said, "This is my man."
Well, not Facebook, but yeah, because
No.
I'm very reserved.
No. Did she claim you on her Facebook? Did she claim you in public to other people?
I didn't want that, so no.
I did not. No.
So no.
Did she want to claim you to other people?
Yes.
All right. She wanted to claim you to other people,
Yes.
but you didn't want her to.
No,
Why?
because my mindset is always different. Just like when you asked
Just
about,
get the
like,
short answer, bro. I don't need. Why I don't need the yearbook answer. Just why?
because I feel like there was things that I needed to see more out of her. So because
Wait.
I've always think long
Stop.
term.
Stop. Stop. Y'all were together in a monogamous relationship for 6 months.
Yes.
You were fucking her,
Yes.
but you needed to see more out of her before she claimed you in public as what, her boyfriend.
Just on social media, because I don't really want to.
I don't
didn't
give
want
it,
to.
dude. I'm asking just in public.
Yes, in public.
All right. So
That's
when
what
y'all
you
walked out
got.
together, did you announce her as my girlfriend, or is she just the chick? She just Brenda?
Oh, my girlfriend.
Dude.
I thought you were talking about Facebook, so that's what I was saying.
Oh God. Facebook, public, just basically you're admitting you have a relationship in public with this woman.
Yes.
All right. We're on the same page.
Yes. Yes.
Is it always this difficult to talk to you? But she dumped you.
Yeah.
But you needed to see more out of her, but she dumped you.
Yes. If we go.
So what does
go-
that tell you about? So what does that tell you about your standing? If
that
you
I'm
were
not-
higher than her, would she have dumped you?
I
If
guess
she was,
not.
do women dump men who are higher status than them for no reason?
Well, I wouldn't say
Do
no
women
reason.
dump men who are higher status than them?
Nope.
Right. So you
Yeah.
obviously had to be at least or lower, right? You're not higher. That means you're at least her status, right?
As far as what status?
Bro,
Social status, physical status.
you asked for the truth.
Yes. And I'm
Follow
trying
the
to make sure I
bouncing,
answer
follow the
all.
bouncing ball. Okay.
Okay.
You said she was a 7, right?
Yep.
And you said you wanted, before you claimed her, or what you wanted her to meet these criteria before you took it more seriously or whatever, before you gave her whatever title or whatever on Facebook, and you never saw that. Yet she didn't give you that, and yet she dumped you. You didn't dump her. That means you didn't meet her minimum qualification anymore. What does that tell you? If you look at yourself as being up here, therefore she didn't reach up here and she dumped you, that means you didn't even meet her minimum qualification.
Yes or no answers.
Yeah. So yeah.
That tells you where you stand. If the hottest woman you've ever had is a 7 and that 7 dumped you, that means you're probably around about a 5.
Okay.
Average at best. I mean, it's not like you're balling out of control in Vegas.
Mhm.
I mean, you're making 70, you're doing decent for 29 years old, you know. I would say we want to be looking at making 3 times your age. So that would put you $90,000 at 30 years old. I mean, okay, 70 in the ballpark.
Yep.
But do women ever tell you you're a charismatic, sexy dude?
Yes.
Who told you this?
A lot of women that I meet.
Okay. Are they higher or lower than the woman this girl we were talking about?
Both. I would
Okay.
say around that same ballpark. But you asked for like relationships, so that's why I've only told you relationships.
Okay. So you're saying that there are women who are better looking than her, higher ranking than her, tell you you're a sexy guy.
Yes.
But you're not. And are you involved with any of these women?
Well, sexually, yes, but as far as long term, no.
Okay. Well, without going too deep into it, what I'm basically getting from you, dude, I would put you around about a 6. I'll put you at a
Okay.
6 because, you know, how tall are you?
5'9".
Okay, 5'9". Under 30 years old, you're making better than the average American. So that puts you in a good position. But in Vegas, 70 grand does not go a long way if you're trying to match paper with people. You know, as a decent looking guy, you should be able to pretty much date what you 6s and 7s. But when you start creeping up into the 8s and 9s, you're not going to really be able to keep those women because you don't have a lot going as far as the money department.
Yeah.
So, and in order to be able to overcome that money department, you're going to have that charisma, that presence. And without really knowing you, my first impression is you're kind of more an analytical personality.
Very.
So, yeah, that's a nice way I can put it. I mean, it's not very, it was difficult to even get some simple, basic questions out of you. So,
Okay.
that doesn't really too much play with the majority of women. I mean, there's a certain kind of woman, and that's not a bad thing. It's just know that kind of woman. And those women don't tend to be very hot because hot women don't tend to really want super analytical middle class guys.
Okay.
So what does that tell you? But you don't want to be dealing with a 9 or a 10. Those are problems. If you can honestly date and have a relationship with a woman who is a 7 consistently, that's your lane. But here's the thing. You got to look at why she dumped you. That's a problem.
All right.
If women are leaving you, women don't tend to leave things they value. You got to look at that. And women tend to do what? Did she leave you and go to another man?
I don't know. I don't keep in touch.
What tends to do women tend to leave one man and not have one on standby?
No.
Women tend to not have a man on standby, or they do have a man on standby?
Women usually have men on standby. Always. They always have options.
So what do you think happened?
Better options.
To the woman that dumped you?
Yes. You asked me what I think, and I'm saying better option might have presented itself.
Right.
Yes.
That really shouldn't. That's what I'm saying. So when I first asked you that, it was almost like, well, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, she dumped you. If you wanted her to move up and do all this other stuff, and she dumped you, she obviously dumped you for somebody she thought was better. You shouldn't be getting dumped. You shouldn't be getting bottom. What I'm basically saying is you shouldn't be getting dumped by a woman that you don't think is good enough to be Facebook.
Okay.
I mean, that's just, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So when she dumped you, did you ask her why?
No, I just moved on with my life.
You weren't even curious?
No, there was problems. So I felt like I didn't want to deal with the headache. So I just left it be. It's like, there's nothing I can do. You want to leave. That's how I see it.
All right. Well, have you ever had an emotionally profound or significant relationship? Well, you said you were with a woman for 2 years.
Yes.
What happened with her?
Well, just like I said, it's like, it was just no value. I was just looking
What do
at
you mean
the
no
look.
value?
I was just looking at looks, but looks without anything else. It seemed like there was nothing more than just look. Like, pretty much, I don't know what it's like to be married, but all I know is that's what I was raised on. So from a young age.
You were with her for 2 years.
Yes.
And you said she was beautiful.
Yes.
And this was when you were in England.
Yes, 21
she
years
was from
old.
Africa.
Yes.
And what else does she need to be other than beautiful?
Like, bring other value other than looks.
Why?
because if she wanted to be a wife, but yet there was never any cooking and being clean, I was always doing that. I feel like that was, so I was less confident back then, so I held on to it. But
Were you raised by your father?
I was raised mainly by my mother, but because my father worked
Okay.
mostly.
So you were with somebody for 2 years who was beautiful.
Mhm.
Okay, let's get into it.
Go ahead.
You held on. Who was in charge of your relationship?
I was.
But you cooked?
Yeah, I like cooking. I enjoy cooking. That's something I do. I enjoy taking care of myself. That's something I do. So, because I lived alone, she lived different. So she didn't live with me, but she would come spend time. Like, because I used to stay in the dorms, she would come spend time in the dorms, and it was just always just.
Was she in school too?
What was that?
Was she in school too?
She was done with school.
Huh?
She was done with school, working part-time.
She was in dumb school working part-time, and she was beautiful.
Yeah.
And were you guys in a monogamous committed relationship?
Not on my part. I cheated a lot. So pretty much I was immature.
And this woman wanted to marry you?
Yes. She wanted me to propose to her.
But you didn't.
I felt like it was just like pretty much just a come up. But like I said, I was looking for other things.
Hold on. You felt like you were a come up?
Yes.
For her?
Yes.
Why?
As far as financial and status.
Why?
Because that's what happened when you go overseas as a military members. Everybody pretty much latched on and trying to get the military guy to marry them.
That does not tell me specifically why you felt like you were a come up.
Because I always had more. I was always more responsible. And
what do you mean? You made more money than her?
Yes.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Yes, I have no problem with that. But I was talking this, when I said value, it's like not as far as look. For me, value is more like
money,
household goods. From a woman's standpoint, like can you take care of a home? So that's why.
Did you ever did she not know how to do that?
No.
Did she ever hold on?
Go ahead.
Did she ever hold on? Did she ever try to cook?
Yep.
Did you ever require her to cook?
Yes.
Did she say she wasn't going to?
Very difficult. She would do it, but then it was never consistent. So action wise, it was no.
Okay. What are you looking from? So you were raised by your mother. Most guys raised by their mother want their mother, want women to be like their mother. What should a woman bring to the table?
Like taking care of home and raising kids. You can have their own career if they want to. Because I'm a provider by heart. That's what I saw my dad do for my family.
Coming to America. Hold on. I need you to nail this down.
Go ahead.
Should a woman work or not?
If she wants to.
But
she shouldn't have to.
I'm asking you. You said you're a provider. See, what I'm hearing is you made more money, but then you held that against her.
No, I didn't.
Hold on. The way you said it is you felt like you were a come up because you always had more, but you're supposed to have more. So you can't hold that against her. That's what you're supposed to do. So I'm not hearing a lot of clarity on your side. It's like that's why I'm trying to ask you, what do you want from a woman? And every time I ask you something, you say, you're giving me either or answers. Tell the truth. Do you want your wife to work or do you want her to stay at home?
I don't want my wife to work.
That means you got to pay all the fucking bills.
And I always do.
All right. That's what you want. Then what do you want her to do while you're paying the fucking bills?
Maintain the household.
And what does that mean? Keep it clean?
Keep it clean, cook.
Did the
And when
woman
we have,
that you were with keep the house clean?
no,
Did you require her to keep the house clean?
yes,
And she sat
requested.
in a, hold on. And she sat in a filthy house.
No, because like I said, I've always
No,
lived.
stop. Pay attention.
Okay.
Did you require her to keep the house clean?
When she came over, yes.
Did she keep it clean?
No,
Who cleaned the house?
me when she left.
Then you did not require her to do it.
I requested, but it wasn't always.
No. I was very specific, young man. I said
Yes.
require. See, what you're doing is you're blaming this woman for shit that she didn't do, but you didn't make it a requirement. And you're putting it off on her, and I'm putting it back on you. This is what
Okay.
happens when you're raised by your mama. You ask for it, you're going to get it.
I'm
You
okay
tried to
with it.
put it down on her because you were a come up and made more money, but you just said that's what the fuck you want a woman to be. You want her to take care of the house.
Yes.
So when did you require her to cook?
No,
Then why are you surprised that she didn't?
because making requests, I've thought by making a request.
No. You said, I
But
asked who was in charge, and who did you say was in charge?
me,
Then hold on. You got a job, right?
yes.
When they tell you that they need something done, do you have the option to not do it?
No,
But if you chose not to do it, what would happen?
you could get fired.
Right. So it's not really a request when the person in charge tells you to do something, right?
Yep.
So who was really in charge of the relationship, young man?
Not me.
Right.
You're right.
You're confused.
It's clear now.
So you are a confused leader and you got confused follower. You said you're in charge, but you're confused. So you're really sitting back saying this woman didn't do something, but she's following your inconsistent, confused leadership.
You're right.
I know, but you've been blaming her for the entire time because you didn't lead.
I didn't properly lead. You're right.
You're fucking right. You didn't. This is another reason why I told you your value is low. That's why you got dumped by a 7. So you have a higher opinion of yourself, but the world is telling you you're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Women don't leave men that they value. The woman in England, did you leave her or did she leave you?
I left.
Did you leave her because you were physically leaving the area?
Yes.
Then you didn't leave her.
I broke it off because I was leaving.
You didn't leave her. You didn't grab your balls and say, peace, bitch, I'm out. You drug it on for 2 years. You actually said, I gotta go, but you made no decisions. You let it go on for 2 years. If you hadn't been redeployed or whatever, it would have went on until she left you.
I'm listening.
This is what happens to us when we're raised by our mother. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is this. I don't care what it is you want out of life. Just know what it is you want, know what it is you require, and know why you're asking for these things. You can't fault women for not following consistent leadership. I used to do the same thing as a young man. I'd fuck up relationships with women that I probably shouldn't have been with, and then I'd blame them for why the shit didn't work. But then I look back and say, well, fuck, I was an inconsistent, pussified, blue pill leader. I didn't give her clear instructions. I didn't make clear requirements. I more or less requested because I wanted her to be my mommy. I wanted to do what my mommy did. Mommy loved me unconditionally, so mommy would cook for me, and but I came from a mama. This woman don't come from you. The best you're gonna get from any woman is 80% of what you want. And you're gonna have to demand it out of the gate.
Okay.
And when when I ask her, does a woman's gonna cook? Then if that woman who's willing to get on your program, if she's gonna cook, you eat her fucking food. I don't care if you're the better cook. You eat her fucking food. What did I just say? If she's gonna get
Yeah.
on your program, you eat her food, even if you're the better cook.
Yes, sir.
Because she could never be the man. If you're going to require her to be at home and raise the kids, and she's going to do that, then you got to let her do that. And you got to do your part. And you got to make it a requirement up front.
Okay.
And don't waver on the requirement.
Yes, sir.
Make it much easier for you and much easier for her. And at the end of the day, young man, knowing what it means to lead yourself, then lead someone else. It's something that's really difficult for us that were raised by our mothers. We have a real problem with consistency, discipline, and structure. We struggle with this individually. So I would suggest working with somebody to help you make sure you have these things in your life to where you can actually be in charge of a relationship and a family. Because if you're going to be the head and have these ideas about what a man should do, then they're going to put all the burdens of performance, the burdens of male performance and leadership are serious. If a woman's going to put her life in your hand and the children's life in your hand, then you got to carry that burden. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Cool, man.
Appreciate it, sir.
You're welcome, man. Keep in contact. I'd like to know how it turns out.
Definitely.
There you go. Peace out. See, guys, a lot of us, I mean, none of this stuff doesn't come with like a handbook, and men who are raised without fathers, man, that's real. Here's what I need you ladies to understand. No man who's raised without a father likes being a man like this. Men don't like being ineffectual. I put it myself. When I was an ineffectual man, I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy being able to be a performer in corporate America and in the business world and in academics, but then in my personal life, just be confused as fuck. It was gut-wrenching. And there was no internet. And there were no spaces like this to talk to people. You just had to bumble from decision to decision to try to make this shit up. So, like I told that guy, at best, anybody can expect to get from anybody is 80% of what you want. That's the best you can expect to get. But I would tell you this, I said this when I was in the grocery store. I saw a bunch of guys and I was like, get a lot of lotion because a lot of guys are going to be sitting around because, like it or not, if we're going to be on this quarantine stuff, you got to be honest with yourself. It's a hell of a lot easier to be quarantined with a family, with an in-house sex and a family versus being a single man with all your provisions and money and everything else. You're just sitting up there, a king in an empty castle. Shit's going to get very real for men and women real quick. And here's what I expect going to happen. People, for the first time in a long time in their life, they're going to have a chance to sit down and be still. I used to tell my ex-wife this all the time. You're listening to everybody, everything going on, but you won with me early on in life. You got it too good in life, but one day you're going to be lying in bed all alone.
Can you post the Zoom link because some members on the chat would like to speak to you?
Sure. Sure. Sorry. There's a link, Fitness Mom. One day you're going to be in the bed all alone with your thoughts and you ain't going to be able to stand it. A decade went by. But when I finally got a call from my ex, she's like, everything you said was right. I was like, because I had finally figured it out. I put the burdens where the responsibilities where it were. That's why you never hear me talk crazy about my exes. For all the problems we had, the failure was on my part. Ultimately, I carried that ultimate responsibility even with flawed partners. Because that's the male burden. That's the burden of male leadership. I didn't have to pick them. And honestly, if I ask myself, if my daughter would have had a man like me at those times, I couldn't blame her if she couldn't have followed his inconsistent, over emotional, confused self. So honestly, a lot of us are gonna have to cut each other some slack. But men, we get no slack. Cut yourself some slack by getting yourself together. Let's see what we got. There we go. So yeah, it ain't easy. A lot of guys out here trying to become a man they never saw, a father they never saw, a husband they never saw, a provider they never saw. Yeah, it ain't easy. A lot of guys out here trying to. What's going on, man?
What's up, Kevin?
Pretty good, man. Can you mute your channel in the background?
Hey, what's up, Kevin? Meant to tell you happy birthday and everything.
Appreciate it, man. What you got for us?
Man, me and my best friend here listed to you, man. You hit people harder than a left hook, right cross, man.
It's all love.
It's of course it's love. This is how men speak, especially older to younger.
Mm-hmm.
See, the problem is we all forget the adage: to beat a man, you got to beat the man, and shit, you got to become a man.
Yeah.
See, a lot of times when I was 17, when I joined the army, foot in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Even before that, when I wrestled, guess what? Nobody wanted, you want to be a champion, you're going to put in that work. Like, hell, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting until like what? Early winter, late fall to get promoted.
Right.
Like, people got to put in work, especially you got to see a lot of times when you listen to a lot of young black men, they want everybody to believe in them more than they believe in themselves, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, my best friend here, we were just talking about, nah, we can't bullshit anymore. Gotta start your business, gotta start your passion.
Mm-hmm. Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, and see, that's one of the things that I've started to really realize that brothers, we're looking for certainty. And this what this pandemic, this whole coronavirus, you're only going to get so much certainty. The market's going to give you so much certainty. You can prep but you can only have so much certainty. You still got to go on with life. And because so many of us never saw black men being able to do anything or build anything, we didn't get certainty from other generations. So we're charting that path along by ourselves. And oftentimes it's that fear of the unknown that just keeps us stuck.
That's very true. Like, how many black men do you know that hunt?
Well, now, I'm from Oklahoma, so I know more than average.
More than average. But the average black male don't even have a damn rifle to say, you know what? Go to the woods, gotta bring this deer, gotta drag this fucking deer, gotta go get him.
Mm-hmm. Well,
gotta go get him.
Here's something I recommend all men watch while on this break. Go to Amazon Prime TV and watch a show called The Island. Charles Faulkner. I'm telling you, go watch season 2, where you got 2 islands. On one island, 14 men. On one island, 14 women. Uninhabited in the Pacific Northwest. 6 weeks. Followed by 2 camera people on the island or with the parties, and go watch what happens.
I think I've seen part of that before because the women didn't build shit.
Bro, it was a neo pill paradise. But what it actually showed you is that when we get right down to it, we got a lot of modern conveniences. A lot of men don't really know ourselves. See, you're a military man and you're a fighter. And one of the things I tell guys often is you need to get punched in the face to know who you really are. I really found out who I was the first time I got hit really hard as a boy. I got hit so hard, it shocked me. And then I started crying like a bitch. I mean, I was crying that ugly cry. I was shocked. I was running around like a little girl with my hair on fire. Then I got fucking mad. I had
Yeah.
never been so mad. Then I got hot. Then something happened. I hoped out. It had never happened before
It's that
because
healthy aggression.
and that's what I needed to. And I was like, and at that point, I fought Leon and I got my ass whooped. But I knew at that point I'm a boy.
I know that feeling in second grade. I could tell you his name, Donald. I mean, he was tall as shit for second grader, man. Thought he was a fifth grader. Kept fucking with me, beat my ass, broke his nose, still beat my ass. But every time he had to wear that contraption over his nose,
that's right.
He didn't want that fight anymore.
Well, and that's why I see a lot of us had that growing up, and so many guys today, because what they've done with guys in school, they've taken all the contact and competition out. So boys don't even get a chance to get hit. And we're sending young men out here completely unprepared for the combat of this life.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I the two places I'm like, you either need to go to the Army or to the Navy, where I tell a lot of young men, because you're not going to be able to be reparented or recoached. For a lot of guys, sometimes you're going to have to go around the military and get the man training that you did not get from the society you grew up in, because without it, you're going to be a bunch of grass-eating lions at 40 years old, and that's a bad look.
Yeah, that's the reason why Cerulean and myself wrote a 52-page initiative for young Black men. See, how can I say it? Can I just be fucking blunt?
Go ahead.
What they're doing to men nowadays is the equivalent of a fucking lion using a litter box. You want this lion to fucking feed off of grass. I had to tell my girl this one time. You say you want an alpha man, but you don't want a man who you have to follow. You want him to be alpha to everybody else but you.
Right.
That doesn't work, especially not in my world.
Well, let me tell you, the beautiful thing I saw about that show called The Island is what the women realized, feminists and all, what they realized at the end, what they needed more than anything on the island, more than water, shelter, food. You know what they needed more than anything else, Charles?
Man.
They needed leadership.
Yeah.
Because they could not function. They tried to work as a democracy for 5 weeks. They finally came in the last week, and the last week they finally elected a leader, and the final week was better than ever. But see what the men did, the men already kind of innately, we went into survival mode, and men learned, they got punched. Then they started learning how to get over their beef and work together. Men had built up structures and all kind of shit, was eating fish and pig and every other thing. And what it was a good resetting for people to realize what is important. And what is important for a lot of men today is you got to go on that quest for your manhood, whether it's through the military, whether it's through martial arts. You got to have something that's going to make you get in contact with your inner animal. Because that's the way it is out here.
What's that old saying? We don't have a fear of being inadequate. We have a fear of being more powerful than belief. Shoot, I forget the actual parts.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't have a fear of failure. They have a fear of success.
Well,
because you're going to expect more from them.
Well, this is why I tell a lot of Black men, our goals aren't big enough, because here's the thing, we're very good workers. But let me tell you, my first job as a management, it showed all the flaws in my character. All the flaws in my character came out as a manager. I was a horrible, passive-aggressive, bitch-made leader. I was so bad, I had to swallow my pride and take a step back, a demotion. And then I followed under one of the best managers in the country, but I was a much better follower at that time because I realized the burden of leadership. I became such a quality number 2 when I was promoted back to manager. My attitude as a manager was completely different. It wasn't, I'm the boss, you're the worker, you do because I say. It was servant leadership. How can I help you get what you want out of this job? Completely different. Because previously people didn't follow because all I had was a stick. And stick only works so far. You can't beat nobody into submission. And that's the thing, men, there's so much of this shit that that I know the young men just cannot get from the way the current system is. And they're gonna have to get it individually somehow. I hope they take this time to really listen to men who have the best intentions for young men and realize that you have to make some choices. Not going to be hard ones. A lot of dudes are terrified. Charles, when I tell you, there are guys who are terrified to go to the military in 23 to 25. They don't. They're just because it's the first time they're going to be around men.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna tell you what from experience. I went to Fort Benning, Georgia, which was all male. I think it still is.
Mm-hmm.
You were never held to a low standard. See, all my drill sergeants were former vets from the Gulf War.
Mm-hmm.
My fucking XO, that's the second in command. He was a Ranger, 82nd Airborne, Army Ranger, and Special Forces.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking captain, Ranger, first sergeant, Ranger. You weren't finding no sympathy there. They called you all kinds of bitch made, all kinds of. They cussed you out so much you thought your name was motherfucker.
That was a greeting.
Yeah.
But see, there's also something that you also realize after you accomplish something, you're a changed man forever. You're a changed man forever. Let's see, Chris. Let's see you. I don't see a microphone on you yet, Chris. We're gonna be on for a little bit more, but what else you got for us, Charles?
I just wanted to chat with you for a little bit and enjoy what you're putting on. I'm gonna go, lie back and enjoy the rest of the show. But man, my boy Aaron over here, he said, "Boy, you hit a guy in the gut and you kicked and you punched him." He said you had a nerve on that one. Say what's up, Aaron.
Hey man, what's up with you, man?
All right, appreciate it, fellas. I'm getting on with Chris, man. Thanks, Charles.
All right, later.
Peace. All right, Chris, what you got for me?
Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I can. And see, and the thing is, I think everybody can understand that how we hit each other is in love. Because I tell you, my Kung Fu masters, Master Lee, Sifu Lee, some of the most devastating attacks, some of the most harsh, loving treatment I ever got was my Kung Fu master. But you're a better man because of it. What you got for us, Chris?
Hey, Kevin, hope I'm not detracting too much from the topic, but just want your perspective, if you don't mind lending it.
Go ahead.
Got accepted into a master's program for public administration. And I'm interested in trying to pivot from, once graduated to hopefully a career in city management and kind of climb the chain from there. Just want your thoughts on that.
So you want to be city management?
Right.
What?
That's my vision as of now.
Okay.
Something in city or state government.
So will you be city manager? Will you be facing the public, or who are you ultimately interfacing with as a city manager?
That's more internal facing.
Okay, so your clients are internal to the city machinery.
Correct.
Okay. Do you have a real passion for actually infrastructure of government and logistics and things like that?
I have
there's a lot of politics in there.
So to answer the question, I have a passion for getting the wheels moving. That's where my interest is. I want to see, whether it be infrastructure, transportation, clean water, things of that nature. That's where my interest and passion is. I'm not too enthusiastic about the political jungle that I know exists.
So let me ask you this. What's your leadership style?
That is a good question. I'm not really sure.
Boom. That's your blind spot then, because the city manager is a leader, right?
Correct.
Right. And if you would have how many people reporting to you or through you?
Depends on the city size, but yeah, anywhere from 20 to somewhere in the hundreds.
Right. And as passionate as you are about all those projects, you ain't going to go around and turn all the valves and pull all the cords and do all the work, right?
Correct.
So your ultimate power lies in influencing people to get them to act upon your behalf.
Correct.
So you need to determine what kind of leader you plan on being. I told why I got promoted to a job and I was woefully unprepared to be a manager because I thought the title was enough. You need to go, there's several different leadership styles. You need to go figure out what resonates best with you and your philosophy, and then actually becoming adept at that. Because my next question was going to be, if you tell me what your leadership style was, I was going to ask you, where in your life have you demonstrated this to success? So you don't have a leadership style and you have no track record of actually seeing how it works.
Correct.
So here's the thing. Get in a job as a city manager. That's over here. But where could you actually become a leader and practice your leadership styles on your way to this kind of stuff? How about charities? How about charities are, American Heart Association, Heart Runs, Habitat for Humanity, your local church, your mission, volunteerism, things that will actually tie you into your local machinery, and you could become a man about town known for getting some things done, and that will put you in direct proximity with business people, voters, and also give you an opportunity to practice, because you don't want to practice with the big job. You need to know who you are and how you lead before you get to that job. Because let's say you got the job as city manager and you have no leadership style, you have no practice. They're not going to give you a long time to learn. You on the
True.
job, you got to perform.
True.
Right?
True.
So
something that I'm struggling with is, and just seems to be the theme for a lot of us young men in our 20s, is this issue with indecisiveness.
Mm-hmm.
So I got in, but I'm kind of having second thoughts after consuming some of your content, where I'm looking at my degree where it's more analytical, more policy based, but it's not giving me a skill. It's not like I'm going for computer science and leaving with coding and web development skills. It's not like I'm leaving with any directly marketable skills to the economy. And so I'm at a point now where I'm trying to think, like, maybe I should pivot to something where I can actually develop skills.
Are you still in school?
I'm not. I currently work as an administrative assistant for retail.
Okay, so you graduated?
Yes.
Degree in what?
Political science.
Pointless degree. Okay.
Yes, so, exactly.
So basically you're trying to decide whether or not you should go back to school?
Yeah. I know I want to go back, but that city manager role, I did a lot of research on the positions. A lot of them do typically want you to have a degree in public administration, or public policy, things of that nature. Okay. So I'm looking at that role as a means for me to kind of tie in what I believe is my interests and skills, which is pushing the envelope.
All right, hold on. So the job you think you want to do requires you to go back to school to get some more paper.
Correct.
All right. Do you know anybody who's done the job that you say you want to do?
I do.
And do you talk to them? Can you ask them about the job and what they know and why they love it and that kind of stuff? Can you really interview them to find out more what the day-to-day tasks are, what it's really like?
I don't have access to that person.
All right, because basically what any job title sounds cool, but do you really know what it is? And going back to school to get additional paper in public administration is just more debt, more time. And how do you know you really want to do this?
Yes.
See what I mean?
I got you. Yeah.
The best place to start is to really say, why do you want to be a city manager?
So it ties, I think it's really a nexus.
Give it to me like I'm a 4-year-old.
Gotcha. So it gives me the ability to serve the public, which I have an interest for.
Okay.
It allows me to address projects that I feel are extremely important that do pique my interest like
Uh-huh.
transportation,
Uh-huh.
like infrastructure for cities,
Right.
especially as things are changing with technology, the environment, etc.
Okay.
And then I also like the prestige of it, the
Yes. Yeah. You want the
lifestyle, the
yeah.
suits, the mixing, the
All right.
mingling, things of
But
that
here's the
nature.
thing: there's one city manager job, and how long does the city manager keep his tenure?
From what I look, a lot of it's by appointment by the mayor.
Right.
So it could vary.
But typically, it's how long?
4 to 8, usually somewhere in that range.
4 to 8 years. So there ain't a lot of them.
Correct.
So something let's whittle it down. The first thing you said was what? You wanted serving the public, more or less.
Public interest.
Public interest. And then you said all the projects. But then you really got down to it. I like the suits and I like the title.
Right.
All right. What other things could you do with this stuff? You serve the public interest and do things like that do not require you to go back to school to compete for one job that's held for 4 to 8 years and needs a mayoral appointment. That's a massive. You're talking about becoming the quarterback of the Patriots.
Yeah. Appreciate you putting that in perspective. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I get
I was
paid for
thinking law.
consulting.
Without a college degree, I'm not sure. The only thing I had in mind would be invested in 3 years to go to law school.
Well, but the thing is, if you really want to serve the public, you can serve the public and serve the public how? Charity is one of the best ways to serve the public. Volunteerism.
Okay.
I mean, I said the American Heart Association. Do you realize how big the American Heart Association is in most cities? The Heart Ball, the women, the Circle of Red, all the powerful women. What city do you live in?
I'm in Philly right now.
In Philly, how powerful American Heart Association is in NFL cities. The silent auctions and the chambers and all the kind of things that. Look, and if you want to get involved in helping people, there are many more ways of helping people than trying to get into politics. They're sending you back to school. I would just say, look at some other things: volunteerism, charities, Habitat for Humanity, things like that. Because I am not feeling a dude with a poli-sci degree going back 2 more years to get a worthless public administration degree to have to go try to get appointed by a mayor for a job to you hold for 4, maybe 8 years. Then let's just say it works. You go get 2 more years of public administration. Okay. Then all the cards line up and the next mayor puts you in and you're there for a whole 8 years.
Yep.
So that's 10 years out. How old are you now?
I am 27.
So 27, you'd be 37. Let's just call it 40. What you gonna do after 40 years old?
My thinking after that was to go into consulting with the firms that help cities. So ICF, Deloitte, something of that nature.
How about you do that first?
Okay.
That's a fucking career. That sounds far more palatable. And you got more options than all this convoluted stuff. I'm gonna send you an invoice for $659. See, that's why the benefit of working with a consultant, a coach, because a lot of you young guys just we haven't done enough to think through these processes, and you were willing to go back to school and do all this other kind of stuff without answering some critical questions, and ultimately starting with the most important question: why? There's a lot of ways to do what you want to do without going that way. Gotcha. Think about it. Okay.
All right. Can I ask you
one? I hope you released a Patreon, man.
Yes, sir. Can I ask you one quick question?
Go ahead.
I've found it. I've been trying to get in through the consulting firms, and I'm just now that I hear myself, you're right. I got it, man. Yeah. I was just gonna say I'm struggling to trying to get my foot in the door with some of these consulting firms.
Show me some work. Show me some work that you've done. Do some work. Go volunteer. Go do something. Put something on a resume to make you interesting to even take a chance on.
Gotcha.
Works for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There you go. All right, brother.
Thank you, Kevin.
No problem. Bye-bye.
All right.
Let me say that as another, the guys, a lot of times we struggle with trying to get in. Look, one of the best things I ever learned was how to be a salesperson. While this whole virus thing is going on, I want you guys to start picking up the phone and calling people. Stop sending emails, stop DMs, contacting people and asking for what you want. 90% of life is just showing up. If you can't get into the companies you want to go get into, go do some work. I got stories I could tell you about how I tried to get into a particular account and I tried to go in the front door or the typical way. And it was all these gatekeepers and barriers to entry. So I made a way in the back way. Rounds back to the whole premise of this story. Big problems require big solutions. Small problems require no solutions. Big problems make you think. You have to come up with shit. Think about the man who made the wheel or fire, the automobile, the airplane. I mean, big problems require big solutions. What's the biggest problem you have in your life? You are defined as a man by the biggest problem you solve. If you're a man who solves big problems, can get big shit done, you are valuable to a lot of people. And your sense of self, your sense of self-esteem, your legacy, you're the kind of man that monuments and statues and shits and plaques and all that are made to. Don't leave this life without challenging yourself to be something. What is your name going to be on other than your gravestone? What is your name going to be on other than your tombstone? Is it going to be on the street? Is it going to be on the building? Is it going to be in the name plaque? What is your name going to be on? What? When I leave this motherfucker, I want my name plastered a lot of goddamn places. I want my name a lot of places when I leave. What is your name going to be on? Let me go ahead and read these donations. Oh, that was from yesterday. We've tipped over into the day. All right. Shout out to Naima. Shout out to Damon. Shout out to Koishiba. Appreciate it. Shout out to C-Dub. Shout out to Mako's Mind. Shout out to Jeremy Williams. Shout out to Jared. How hot are women that give you signals? That's your stand. That's right. Shout out to Jared again. Shout out to DJ Cadillac. Got timed out for no opinion. Said what? Fitness Mind. Can you post a Zoom link? Let me see what happened. Appreciate it, guys. All right, we're gonna continue to have shows during the week. We're gonna do tomorrow's Women's Wednesday. Tomorrow is Women's Wednesday, and I want the women to call in tomorrow. I'm gonna have a show for the ladies tomorrow, same time. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ladies, I gotta think of the topic I want to come up with, but there's a way for you ladies to come out of this stuff a changed woman and on top. See, I'm looking for the future. How do you use this time to your advantage, and how do you change your life and come out on top and winning? All right. I hope this helped everybody. Appreciate it. Shout out to all the guys that call in. Appreciate the brother who called in from Vegas. It's never easy hearing a stranger's opinion about your situation. Understand, young brother, I gave you what I thought you needed to hear, but there's an upside. You're 29. All the cards are in your favor. Life is ahead of you is full. You got no kids. You got a good paying job. You should be living life. And you and the former military dude, man, you need to get your wolf pack, your guys you hang out with. Let's get some things that you can really focus your whole passion in, be something that you can become enthusiastic about in your life, and you'd be amazed at how things will start to fall in place. You're not supposed to have life figured out until about 40 years old, young man. None of you guys under 40 are supposed to have this shit figured out. It starts making sense at 40. Let me say it again.
My father always told me out of sight, out of mind.
You start figuring out this shit at 40. You start figuring this shit out at 40. All right. Until next time, peace out.